Hey, welcome back to After the Static. I'm Arthur Price. I'm here with John Auber.
Hey, how's it going?
Let's see. Last time we left off, we had talked about doing the relaxation ritual, which is from what book was that again? Modern Magic, right?
It's called Modern Magic.
Yeah, Modern Magic.
By Donald Michael Craig.
So this first step in the book, this first ritual, it's called the relaxation ritual, and we were going to try to do that for a week and kind of report back on if it had any impact on us at all. I didn't do it every day, but I probably did it maybe 4 times. Where did you fall on that chart, John?
Yeah, I missed one day just because I ended up staying up super late that day. I just kind of went and passed out, so I didn't really need it that day. But no, it helped me with the rest of the days.
You did it 6 days?
Yeah, I did it 6 days.
Okay.
And I had some good experiences with it. It wasn't like life-changing or revolutionary or anything like that. It was just a really simple little it still seems kind of silly even calling it a ritual because of how simplistic it is.
Right.
But while we read off, so everyone kind of knows what we're talking about, while we read off like what it is.
Yeah.
First,
before we get too far into it, I'll talk, we'll read it through the steps and then just talk about how it went for us, So the relaxation ritual, this is from the book. It says, step 1, sit or lie in a place where you will not be disturbed for at least 5 minutes. Remember to unplug the telephone. I don't really do that nowadays. Huh? Turn off your cell phone.
Put it on silent. Yeah.
Get comfortable. If you are sitting, your back should be straight. Whether sitting or lying down, your legs and arms should not be crossed. If sitting, rest your hands, palms down in your lap. Remove glasses or contact lenses. Your eyes should be closed. Step 2, visualize a golden ball of beautiful warm light surrounding your feet. If you cannot see the ball of light when you visualize it, that is okay. Just know that it is there. Truly know that if your powers of visualization were different, you would be able to see it. The ball of golden warm light always brings peace and total relaxation. Wherever the ball of light goes, tension flows away. Let it go, and as it goes, feel your feet filled with the warm golden glow of peace and total relaxation. Step 3, now allow the ball of light to rise up your legs and up your torso, then allow it to go down your arms to your fingers and finally up your neck and into your head until you are completely covered with the warm golden glow of total peace and relaxation. All the tension is gone. Allow the ball to move slowly. Take your time. Let go. Step 4. With your mind, spend a few moments exploring your body. If you notice tension anywhere, just send the ball of light there and the tension will vanish. With each breath, allow yourself to become more and more relaxed. Step 5. Stay in this state of deep relaxation for a few moments. Know that you can return to this state whenever you like simply by doing the relaxation ritual. If you are having trouble sleeping, try this ritual when you lie down at night instead of suffering or taking dangerous pills. Be at one with yourself. Step 6, when you are ready to come out of this state of deep relaxation, take 3 deep breaths and feel fresh life and energy coming into your body with each breath. Let that energy flow completely through you from the ends of your hair to the tips of your fingers and toes. Become aware of the world around you and breathe in life. Step 7, when you have returned to your regular awareness, record your experience in your ritual diary. And now, before going further, spend a few days getting used to keeping your diaries, doing the ritual, and obtaining a tarot deck. So it just kind of goes into more of the book after that. But so I was doing it like when I was laying down to go to sleep, but it doesn't. I was just reading through that again. It doesn't sound like that's necessarily when you're supposed to do it. It says that you can do it when you're doing that, but maybe throughout the day that would help you just relax and center yourself. So yeah, I guess I could try that throughout the day, but I was mainly doing it at night and kind of going through those steps. I noticed that well, first of all, overall, whenever I did it, it was definitely more relaxed. I felt like I had a deeper sleep. And every time I did that, I always had dreams that I remembered. And sometimes I don't remember my dreams that much, but when I was doing that, for some reason, I could remember them easier. But when I was going through the ritual meditation, whatever you want to call it, when I was going through that, I feel like ritual just has like a negative connotation to it. So,
well, I mean, no, I mean, it is a ritual, so it's like it does make sense to call it that. It's just it's not what most people think of when you say ritual, so it's a little bit strange.
Sacrificing rabbits or something, right?
Yeah. But I mean, but it is a ritual, so we'll just call it that.
Yeah. So when I was going through like trying to visualize the ball of light and having it travel around your body and relieve tension, whenever I would focus like too hard on trying to visualize I felt like I was like, it was being counterproductive to what it was supposed to do because I was concerned or like more worried about visualizing the ball of light than actually like feeling the ball of light, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. So I really had to kind of watch myself when I was like doing the ritual. Like, okay, if I can't see it right away or visualize it, that's okay. Like just go through the process. But what were your like experiences? Like, did you have deeper sleep or did you do it during the day? Did you do it at night?
I did at night when I used to do this when I was a lot more religious and I was practicing like stuff a lot more. I used to do it before meditating, but and it was a good experience for that. But this time I just did it before sleep. I did the same thing with you before sleep, and because of that, I didn't follow the one step of like writing down your experience and everything with it as well. Is because I was doing it to fall asleep, which is a little bit different. If you're doing it to just relax yourself, it's good to write down any kind of experience, and that way you can kind of see any correlations in the future, like of things to make it more effective. But for me, I was just doing it to fall asleep, so I didn't do that. And I had no problem visualizing. I'm pretty good with visualization. I have an overactive imagination, so I'm really good at visualizing things. So I had no problem visualizing it. But the thing that really helped me with it is kind of two things, I guess. One, I have flat feet, and when I was in my 20s, I ignored that and I just ran. I used to jog every day, and I destroyed my feet. And so I have a lot of feet pain like all the time, and especially I feel it a lot when I'm laying down and go to sleep. My feet will just kind of like cramp up and hurt a lot when I'm laying trying to go to bed. And it helped a lot with that. So I'm going to continue to do it when I'm having that type of experience if I feel like my feet cramping up, because when I focused on that and I basically would visualize the ball of light and have it go through my feet and just kind of would focus on it relieving tension or like letting go of the muscles and relieving things, it basically just allowed my body to have a visual aid to relax things and to be able to release those muscles and relax everything. And it really did help with that. And I
it
would
does
kind of
help.
go,
Yeah.
yeah, it definitely helps with that. And then I'd slowly just go throughout my whole body, kind of relaxing my whole body. And then the part that I would do as well that would really help me is I have a lot of, like I said, since I have an overactive imagination, my brain is always kind of like firing a lot. And so it's hard to fall asleep sometimes because of that. So one thing I would do is have it go into like at the end, basically the last step after I have it go throughout my whole body is I would have it go into my head, like it would go into my brain, and I would have it explode. I would have it like expand,
The ball of light.
and then just like basically condense and like just get to the point where it's like, like how like a thing and just like go off and kind of just try to like destroy any thoughts and emotions that are lingering from my day with that. It's like it was like a cleanse of the day with the ball of light exploding. Like the ball went through my body and cleansed, like basically relaxed everything and absorbed. I kind of saw it as like absorbing. It was absorbing all of my tension, absorbing all of my stress. And then when it went into my brain, it kind of like flashed my brain and it was like, oh, that's gone. We're done. Like the day's done. Now go to sleep.
Yeah.
And it kind of helped me like
because I know you've had issues with sleeping just in general. I feel like, right, like you're kind of a insomniac a little bit.
Yeah, my whole life, like I've been up for like 4 days before. Like it's just like it's
so
not good.
Do you feel like this helped with that? Or did
It
you
did.
feel
It
like
started.
it still had
It
issues?
it it depended. It depends on why I'm having a hard time sleeping. If I'm having
Mm,
a hard time sleeping because my brain is overactive, this definitely helps with that. And so I think it's something that I can continue to utilize in those situations if I'm having a hard time sleeping. And it's because my brain is just like, I think a relaxation ritual will help with that. Same with pain. If I'm having a hard time sleeping because of physical pain, like from my feet, things like that, things cramping up, it definitely helps with that. And as I get older, I know I'm going to have more and more physical pain.
yeah.
So I think it's something that can help me in the future. Now, if I'm having a hard time sleeping because of other issues, like, that it's like, anxiety or like other problems, like, or if I'm stressing about something that's going on in my life, like that's really like I'm trying to figure out, then because that's what will kind of keep me up a lot of the times is I'm trying to solve like a problem that I'm like stuck on. Like my brain has to like run through an issue that I'm having over and over and over again until it finds a solution. And as soon as I find that solution, I can fall asleep. But if
Mm,
I'm stuck on it, then it's like, okay, I got to figure this out and get like a plan together in my head before I can go to bed.
yeah.
And in that
I,
situation, it doesn't help.
luckily for me, so like I feel like my imagination is and my thought process is very like ADHD. Like I'm always like thinking about one thing and thinking about another thing, thinking about another project and thinking about this. But then when it
See,
comes time to sleep,
mine's opposite. Mine's hyper focused. Like I get
mm,
stuck on like a single thing and I obsess over it until I go through it.
mm, yeah. And see when it's time for me to go to sleep though, like generally speaking, sometimes I'll just be up, like I'm just not tired. But when I'm tired and ready to go to sleep, like generally speaking, it's just like a light switch. Like I'll lay over and like within
Yeah.
30 seconds I'm out.
That's how
So
my wife is, and it drives
yeah.
me crazy because she'll seriously like she'll just be like "good night," and then she'll just roll over and like wrap herself in a blanket, and then I'll just hear her snoring like 2 seconds later, and I'm like,
Yeah.
"How? Like how? I'll lay there for 3 hours."
So I'll be having a conversation with my wife and I'll roll over and seriously, I won't even like try to go to sleep. It'll just all of a sudden she'll just shove me like, hey, you're doing like, cause I guess I kind of do this like heavy breathing thing before I like zonk out. And
Yeah,
I do it for maybe 30 seconds and then I'm gone. So when I start doing that, she like nudged me and was like, hey, you're doing your thing. And I was like, I didn't even know I was going to sleep, but apparently I was just ready. So the thing
I'm
for
jealous of
me,
that.
the thing for me with the ritual thing is like I would close my eyes, be laying there, and I'd like visualize this ball of light, and then I'd be like, okay, I got the ball of light. Like I gotta visualize my feet, and I gotta visualize it over my feet, and then it'd be moving up, and then I'd be like, oh, I gotta think about this thing, and then think about this thing. Oh crap, where was that ball of light at? I had to reimagine the ball of light, reimagine where it's at on my like. It's just sometimes it's a real pain in the butt, but like it said in the book, it's kind of like walking. Walking is natural for pretty much everybody, and you weren't good at it at first, right? So you just got to keep trying it, and eventually it'll
Just
just
keep
be
trying to
easier and easier. But for
see.
me, I
You
think it's
mentioned
just trying to
stairs.
focus. Like, and that's the hard thing. It's like if I focus too hard, then I don't feel like I'm relaxing. But if I don't focus enough, then my mind is just going a bunch of different places.
You mentioned something there I thought was interesting because it's not something I've experienced. Where you said that like you had to imagine your feet, you had to like imagine your body. I had never thought like is that like for mine like my brain auto imagines my body. Like it's not like I have to imagine my body. My body's just there. Like
Mhm.
and so
Yeah,
then like
not
even
for
if my
me.
eyes are closed, like my body's just like right now I can see my body. Like my body's just there.
No.
And so it's like, but then I have to imagine the ball. Like the ball I do have to imagine. But like when I close my eyes, like I could still see my body. Like it's like
I
yeah, I
wonder
don't
if
know. It's
that's why
weird.
it makes it good when I do other different types of meditation because like when I close my eyes and like try to do some kind of meditation like that, like I kind of forget about everything. Like I don't know what my body looks like or like what like where my like for you have to visualize the ball but you're aware of yourself even if your eyes are closed or whatever. Like at my head I
Yeah.
have to imagine like my feet and then the ball of light over
Yeah.
my feet. It's like so
So
I
I guess
wonder
it
if that's
depends.
different.
It depends on what ritual you're doing or what type of meditation you're doing. Like yours would be more helpful if you're trying to completely lose yourself in meditation and just think of
Yeah.
nothingness. And then mine helps if I'm trying to do more of, like the cold type ritual where I'm trying to
Yeah.
imagine like myself in the situation.
Because where my mind can go to a bunch of different places really quick, like it also can go to a nothing box. And when I get into that nothing box, like a void space, I can get there really easily. but when I'm not there, I'm thinking about a bunch of different things, if that makes sense. So like I can shut it off, but then when I shut it off, it's like I can't think about anything. And as soon as I think about something like a ball of light, then I have to think about a bunch of other things too. So it's like it's either off for me or really, really on my mind.
Yeah,
which
I
is
don't
why
have
I
that
think it's
because
easy for me to go to sleep so fast.
that makes sense. Yeah, see, for me, it's like it's not like because I hyper focus on things. It's easy for me to imagine like one thing. Like that's not hard. But for I think it'd be harder for me to do what you said, like imagining lots of like if you're
Oh, it's
jumping around a lot.
constant. It's even while I'm working, or like today, for instance, I was trying to do some game development, and it was just like, oh, I got to do this, and I'm like, oh, maybe I could do this, maybe I can make a song, maybe I could do this. And I'm like, oh, dude, I just got to focus on this one thing, and like, and maybe that makes me a decent programmer, but it sucks for everything else.
See, it mine where I'm hyper focused on stuff. It could be helpful, but it also can deter because I'll lose track of time. Like I'll start doing one thing, and then I'll like glance at the clock. And I'm like, oh, it's been 10 hours. Like it's like okay, because I just got so like involved in doing that one thing that I could just do it for 10 hours straight, and then just lose track of time. I think then that also contributes to my sleep issues because like that happens a lot where it's like, oh, I need to go to bed at a certain time, but it's like I'll just do this thing for a while, and then it's like 8 hours later, and I'm like, oh, it's 3 in the morning. Okay,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah. Oh
um,
yeah. And then you don't
but
get sleep, and then you're cranky the next day,
yeah, pretty much.
like
Yeah,
yesterday.
like yesterday.
Yeah,
I texted him yesterday. I was just like, I'm in a bad mood. I'll be on a little bit later. I need to get in a better mood before we record.
I could
And
tell.
so yeah, I don't know.
So the
What
book
it
that
is.
we're going through, or the one that I'm reading, it's Modern Magic by Donald Michael. Who is it? Donald Michael.
Craig,
The,
Donald Michael Craig.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah, 12 lessons in the
It's
high
12
magical
lessons. Yeah.
arts.
So if anyone's interested, I think it was $5 on Kindle or something like that. It's really good to read. If you're wanting to follow along, I think we might get into some of the tarot stuff too. I think we talked about that a little bit on the last episode, but we might get into
Yeah,
more of that stuff. That would be kind of interesting. Maybe we could do a reading on the cast here. I don't know if you're up for that, but it'd be
we could have some
interesting to
time.
do. Yeah.
Do an
So,
episode just on tarot. But I like that book. I'd like to go through more of that book. But
yeah.
I think I'd like to add another thing as well. So, because like I said, I kind of wanted to step it up every week where we try like a new challenge and then
Oh
talk
yeah,
about it a
yeah.
little bit.
Cool.
So this past week we did the relaxation ritual. What if we keep the relaxation ritual and we add in meditation? So why don't we have it so every day we do a relaxation ritual followed by a meditation?
Let's do it before we
Um,
go to sleep too, because we tried to go a week doing it right before going to bed. Let's do it.
yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Not laying down,
Yeah,
because I was doing all of
not
mine
like that.
laying down. Right.
Well, then we could add in the being able to record our experience, like in a book, writing it down, because that's part of all this is recording it as you go, like write down
Mm.
your experience. And if we're not doing it right before you go to bed, then it's a lot easier to do that. So basically, go grab like your journal, and then like we'll sit down, do the obviously we'll do it just do it separately. Just do your relaxation ritual followed by meditation, and it could be a short meditation. It doesn't have to be long. It could be short or it could be long, up to you. And then we'll talk about it next week of our experiences and what we thought. You down?
Yeah, meditating makes me a little nervous because of my last experience. We might get into it on there, but we'll
Yeah.
see how it goes.
Well, but no, like that, you kind of do that on purpose. As long as you're not
I
trying to
didn't last
purposefully do
time.
that, like you shouldn't do that.
I
Um,
just happened. It just happened.
yeah, yeah.
Like I guess I could have. I don't know. Maybe I could have stopped before I got too far
Well,
into it. But
you kind of did it on purpose because we had talked about it and you told me you were going to try to do it. So you were trying to do it, like because I told you how to do it and you tried purposely to do it. I remember.
All right. That's probably that's sure.
Yeah.
So one of the other things I want to try too, I actually bought this on Amazon yesterday. It got here today. I'm gonna try it for the week. What is your opinion on grounding?
Just like grounding yourself or grounding a circle, or what do you mean by grounding? Or
Yeah,
just
so
like
like being connected to the earth. So like grounding, also it's also known as earthing. It involves connecting your body to the earth's natural electrical charge, often by walking barefoot on the ground. Um, Proponents suggest that this connection can lead to several potential health benefits, including like reduced inflammation, pain, stress, and improved sleep and mood. It says, obviously more research is needed, but some studies suggest that it may positively impact the atomic nervous system, uh,
so. Okay, so I'll just
improving
tell you.
heart rate. Anyway, so I got a grounding blanket off Amazon, and you plug it into the grounding port on your wall because like the house is connected to the ground. So if you're connected to the ground, I'm guessing like the same electrical energy travels up through the ground and into the blanket. And yeah, I usually sleep with a shirt off anyway, so it's supposed to be like contacted with your skin. And I'm just gonna try it out for a week, and I'm gonna to see how it helps, or if it does
Oh, yeah,
anything. I don't know.
report back later now. So I'll tell you just by like having doing no research on it. That sounds like crap. That sounds like bull crap. Well, what I would say is
I don't know.
it's a practice. What I would say it's more of a practice in mindfulness. And so if you're putting effort and like thought into trying to do something, like for example being grounded, and where they're like, oh, it has these like results of like reduces inflammation and it causes yourself to be less stressed. If you are mindfully trying to like do that, where you're trying to be like, oh, I'm gonna ground myself and be more, because when you think about like what that word even means, when you start to like think about it, because they're talking about like, oh, like the actual like electrical, but really what that's telling your brain and your body is like calm yourself, be like more grounded, be more down to earth, and it's naturally going to cause you to be more relaxed and to be more,
I,
you
I
know,
I kind of
to
agree,
have all
but
that.
at the same time, I kind of think too, and this is my own personal opinion. I don't have any facts to back this up, really, that I know of. Maybe I could look more into this, but like crystals and frequencies and magnetic fields, I feel could have an impact on yourself physically and mentally. And you emit a frequency as well as everything around you. So I've seen some really cool things with frequencies where they use sound to create like designs, and
Mhm.
then I've seen those designs in ancient Hindu temples and you know temples from China, and it's like just the visualization of a certain tone or a certain frequency, and they use those symbols in meditation, right? And they have them in their temples, so that has to be connected, especially when it goes that far back. I
I
don't know.
mean, yeah, it's possible. Like, I'd have to guess. I guess I'd have to do more research into it. All I know is like when I like start to hear like more like, oh, well, you're trying to like channel your energy into the earth and be more grounded.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
my like woo woo meter starts to go off a little bit, where I'm like,
Sure.
and if that's and that's coming from me, like who has some crazy ideas and crazy thoughts. So it's like, so if it's making me go like, it's like okay, you know,
Yeah, it definitely sounds weird, but I'm gonna give it a try, and I'll write
fair
down.
enough.
So I'm gonna do the meditation during the day or before I go to bed, and then when I sleep, I'll use the grounding blanket, and then that way I don't mix the two results, because I'll record my meditation results before I go to bed, and then after I go to bed, I'll record like my grounding and dreams in my dream diary, dream journal.
Fair enough.
Oh, we should say too, if you guys haven't started doing a dream journal, I highly recommend doing a dream journal. Uh, it's great. Like you when you wake up in the morning, you just quickly open up your dream journal, write whatever you can remember from your dream down, and it's really, really interesting the stuff that you dream of, and then you can look at it and think about how it applies to yourself
Yeah,
and whatever.
one thing that I'd recommend is having two. What I would do this a lot. I need to get back into it. I haven't done as much, but one thing I'd recommend is I'd put on my nightstand. I'd put a pen and I'd put actually like two journals, and I'd make sure they look vastly different. That way you can easily just grab one. But I'd put two journals there, And when I woke up, if I felt like I had like an impactful dream where it was like, oh, like that, like I felt like that meant something, like I felt like that was important, I'd grab like the journal that was more meant for that. I'd just like grab the green one and I would open that and I'd write it out. And then just to my best recollection, whatever it was. And then if it was just a completely ridiculous, silly dream that I didn't feel like meant anything, but it was just kind of like my brain sorting through stuff, I'd grab the other journal and I'd
Mm.
write it in there. And it's worth keeping both because sometimes the things that ones that you think are silly do actually mean something. And sometimes, the ones that you thought were serious don't actually mean anything. But like if you have them both separated, I found that that was really helpful for me because I felt that whenever I had like a really silly dream, I didn't want to write it down in my journal of things that were like important dreams to me that I felt like really impacted my life and were important because I felt like it was kind of like I don't know. I stopped writing as much. I stopped writing in
Mm.
my dream journal as much because I was like, well, I don't want to write this silly, stupid dream that I had about Looney Tunes or something in this dream journal where I have like this
I'd
really
love a dream
important,
about Looney
impactful,
Tunes. I've never had a dream
yeah,
about Looney Tunes.
yeah, just this really important, and practical dream that like helped me in my marriage or whatever. Like, and so it was nice to keep them separated, but still have both, just so you can go back and read them.
Yeah.
Uh, so with that one, it's kind of changing subjects a little bit. One thing that I wanted to talk to you a little bit about and kind of get your opinion on is I want to kind of change some of my life philosophies. So I started researching some different philosophies because most of my life I've been a nihilist where I just basically
Yeah. Are you gonna
um,
explain what that is for everybody?
yeah, sure I can. So basically, as a nihilist, it's where you recognize that nothing matters. Where it's basically you recognize that the universe doesn't care about you. There most likely isn't a God who cares about you, even if there is a God. There could be, there could not be. But if there is, he doesn't give a crap about you. You're just basically here. You're gonna die. Nothing you do matters. Even if you have children, they're just gonna die. Like in the grand scheme of things and the age of the universe, when you actually like look out into the stars, you look out of the universe, it's just cold, it's just death, and nothing you ever do or ever you could do would ever matter at all. Because no matter what, within a billion years, like all memory of you will just be anything you do, no matter how impactful it is, it's just going to be gone.
Mm.
Nothing matters, and that's kind of nihilism and of accepting that truth. And then because of that, when you're nihilistic, you a lot of times get a lot more depressed because you're a lot more like, well, what's the point in doing anything? Nothing matters. Why even try? Like, and because you have a lot more of that type of mentality. But the negative thing about that is you live depressed a lot. You're a lot, you're sad a lot more. And you also don't get things done. You're much less productive because nothing matters. So
Yeah.
why do anything?
Is there a
Um,
benefit to
but
thinking that way, or is it just all negative?
you're right. Yeah, the benefit is you're right. Like it's truth. So because the basically with you're accepting all truth. That's the nice thing about nihilism, is that you don't care about what makes you feel good. You don't care about what makes other people feel good. You're all about truth. So no matter how hard or how like brutal that truth is, you're seeking the truth. And so as a nihilist, you're kind of accepting that you just are used to things not being bright and cheery.
Mm.
Um, and so because of that, it's much easier when things are depressing as well. Like when bad things happen, it doesn't really devastate you because you're like, well, yeah, of course, everything's fucked. Like, why would everything not continue to be terrible? Like,
Right.
things matter to you a lot less. So it's a lot easier to deal with catastrophic um, emergencies and bad things that happen because in the end it doesn't matter. Like even if you get injured, it's like, well, I don't care. Like my body doesn't matter. Like none of us matter. So there's a benefit for it in that if things affect you less. But then the bad thing about it as well is things affect you less. So like you
Right.
also
Right.
become a lot more dull to happy things and good things and things like that. And you also start to look down, at least, I'm not gonna talk for all nihilists, at least for myself, I started to look down on people that were happy because I'm like, oh, they're just stupid people. Which, to be fair, most people that are happy are stupid. But it doesn't change that fact of like, hey, this isn't really a great way to live your life, even if I am right. So, one of the things that I wanted to do is I started studying different philosophies. and I wanted to find one that still accepted this thing of this concept of nothing really matters, but then had a different flip on it because um, you can, because basically some of the different philosophies that I found is basically trying to follow like the hero's journey and trying to basically live your life as if like you are like a character in your like a hero's story.
Mm.
But one of the problems with that philosophy is you're lying to yourself. It takes a little bit of self deception, but your life is much better. You're going to get a lot more things done. You're going to be much more heroic. You're things like that because you're seeing your life as if you're King Arthur kind of thing. So it's going to allow you to accomplish great things, but you're going to be part of you is going to be deceiving yourself, which I don't want to do. Then
That one sounds pretty
there,
fun though.
it is like yeah, if you're looking for like maximum fun, and if
Yeah.
you're looking for like things like that, like doing like trying to follow like a hero's journey and seeing yourself as the main character is a good way to do that. But I didn't want the self deception.
I wonder if
Um,
sorry, real quick, I just had a thought about that. I wonder if your um perception of reality, like nihilism or hero's journey or whatever, has an impact on your personality as a whole, right? Like if you're
oh,
following more of
absolutely.
the hero's journey, are people going to see you as more of a leader?
Oh,
I'm
absolutely.
interested to see how that would affect
Or a
people
fool.
around you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
or the fool. Yeah.
Yeah, but like, and I feel like in my late teenage years, in my early 20s, I lived my life a lot more by that philosophy, because I didn't really, and without
That's
knowing it,
probably all.
I
That's
was,
probably most young people.
yeah, and it wasn't knowingly. It wasn't like, oh, I know that I'm following this philosophy. It was just more,
Right.
I was just self-centered. I saw myself as the main
Center of the
character.
universe. I think a
Yeah,
lot of
yeah,
yeah. A lot of people do that.
yeah,
I wonder
um,
if that's how narcissists live.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Uh, but theirs is, I think, a little bit more, even more self-centered as well on top of it because they don't care about other people. Like in the hero's journey, you can still care
Mm.
about other people. You can see yourself as the main character, but still like sacrifice yourself to try to help other people. Where I think as a narcissist, it's all about you,
They
and
might be
so it's
more
like,
of like the villain
yeah, they're more the
journey,
villain.
right?
Yeah,
But because the villain probably sees themselves as the hero, but everyone from the outside sees them as evil. I'm
yeah,
not saying
exactly.
narcissists are evil, but you
I
know,
mean, yeah, for the most part, they are.
the
Usually,
most part.
it depends on like what they're doing,
Yeah,
but yeah.
yeah. That's
Um,
interesting. So, like, you have the hero's journey, and then you have like the typical evil type villain person who's more narcissistic.
yeah, the
Yeah,
narcissistic hero's journey.
interesting.
And then there would be
I
like
wonder where the
then there's like
nihilist would
stoic.
fall into that.
Yeah, then
The
there's like
depressed
a
hermit
well, yeah,
in
the
the
pressed hermit, or
forest.
like Eeyore, like Eeyore
Yeah,
from
oh,
like
Eeyore.
Winnie the Pooh.
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
Eeyore's the narcissist. Not the narcissist, the nihilist.
Not the narcissist.
Not the narcissist. Not the
The
narcissist, the
nihilist.
nihilist. Um, and then you have like stoicism, and stoicism is a lot more of stoicism is a great one if you want to be a leader. I would say stoicism
Mm.
is the most important one. Like if you want to be like a, a leader, like you want to do stoicism, and with stoicism you're still feeling, it's kind of like the whole like sigma male kind of thing, like John Wick kind of like stoic,
Mm.
like you still feel all the pain, you still feel everything, but you don't ever let it show. You're being more stoic and you process
Mm.
everything, so it's more like you process all the emotions and you don't let them affect you in a way that would negatively impact your goals and your life. So if you're trying to be like
Business
president, for
people,
example, like
maybe, or
yeah, like a business person, or
mm.
let's say you're trying to be president. If you're trying to be president, like stoicism would be great for you because you're like, okay, I'm still gonna feel all the emotions. I can still relate to people. I'm still human, but I'm gonna process those emotions before they hit me really hard. I'm gonna process them, and then I'm going to put them in their place, and I'm going to basically not let them distract me from making the choice that would lead me towards my ultimate goal of being president, like
Okay.
or whatever your ultimate
Like
goal is.
very goal
Um,
driven.
Very goal driven, and kind of setting whatever your goal is, and then not denying your feelings, still expressing your feelings, still having your feelings, but not letting them run your life and not letting them overcome you.
Right.
And that's where like stoicism, and there's a lot more to stoicism. People that like, feel free to leave your things in the comments if you disagree with me, 'cause there's a lot of people that are hugely into it, and there's huge books about it and everything like that. But that's not really for me. I don't care about being a leader. I don't really care about
Right.
being a sigma male. I don't care about what people think about me. So that's not really like for me what much one that I care about. So the one that really I could go through. There's a
Well, how
billion other that I
many?
went through,
Yeah,
but
like
I'll
how
go through the one.
many
I'll go through the
did you
one.
see on the list? Like that. I'm
I
assuming
there's
you looked these up or something, right?
Yeah. I just read and read about a lot of these, and so
How
I'll
many
kind
were
of
there?
skip
You would
through
you
the
say
ones.
like hundreds or less than 100?
Um, I probably studied probably like a dozen of
Okay.
them. I'll skip to the one though that really
Well, how
attracted me
many?
though.
How many did you or do you know about or did you see?
How many did I know about before I saw them? Is that what you're asking?
Or when you were looking them up, like did you have to look up a specific 12, or were there like a list of 100 different types?
So I started by looking up the ones that I already knew about. So I started looking up like Stoicism, and I started looking
Okay.
up Nihilism and reading kind of like their definitions and reading more about them. And then that led me to look up like, well, what are some other ones that like share these same things? And then like reading
What
about
would you
those.
categorize these in, like personality or
Life philosophies.
life philosophy? Okay.
Yeah. And so the one that really attracted me though was absurdism. Do you know about
Mm,
absurdism?
it sounds kind of absurd to me, but
All right.
I
So,
don't know.
okay. What absurdism is basically they accept all the same things that nihilism accepts. It's basically like the same
Mm,
thing as a nihilist, where it's like they have the same life view as a nihilist of the universe is a cold bitch. She doesn't care about you. Nothing that you ever do will matter. But
sure.
rather than it's basically taking that reality, but then switching your perspective on it. So it'd be basically like changing, like let's say, here's a good example I just thought of, like Shakespeare. Hamlet would be like a nihilist story, whereas like the Taming of the Shrew would be an absurdist story, where it's like
Okay.
Hamlet's like he has more of his absurd like comedies, and then he has like his depressing dramas. It's the absurdism is more like I recognize that all these things exist. I recognize that there's death and there's decay, and the universe doesn't care about you. But rather than that being depressing, allowing you to hold you back and stopping you from doing things, it's the opposite. It's freeing. It allows you, because nothing matters, you don't have any restraints. Just do whatever you want. Nothing matters. So it's
Yeah.
freeing. So it's like, oh, well, since nothing matters, let's make a podcast. It doesn't matter if people don't watch it. It doesn't matter if it's not
Right.
that great. Like, let's just, I want to
Yeah.
do it. So let's do it. And like, let's put it up, because in the end, like, forget all these other voices that are in your head that are talking to you, telling you, oh, don't do that. People are going to judge you, or don't do that. It's a waste of money, or don't do that. It's a waste of time. So what? Nothing matters. Let's have fun. And that's kind of what absurdum is like, laughing at the nothingness, laughing at the
Mm.
void, laughing at like the fact that nothing matters, being like, yeah, it doesn't. Isn't it great? Let's have fun then. Because nothing matters, I'm free. Let's just do whatever I want. And I'm free to do that because nothing matters.
Yeah, I was talking to my wife about this a little bit yesterday, I think, and it was pretty funny because she's reading a book that kind of talks about the same thing. And I was telling her I'm kind of in the, I guess, the nihilism boat where it's hard for me to get motivated or do things, learn new things right now because, earlier when I was younger, I'm like, oh, I want to learn new things because I want to be successful or I want to do X, Y, and Z, right? And now that I'm a little bit older, I'm like, I don't really care about any of that stuff anymore. So,
Yeah.
like, why learn how to make a video game?
Yeah.
Why learn how to, play the violin or make music or whatever, or fix woodworking stuff or anything you want to do really. And I was just telling her that I had a hard time committing to doing those things because in the long run, it was like, what's the point? It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And she read a quote from her book that said, I would rather live a life of oh wells than a life of what ifs. So what that basically meant to me was, I tried this thing, it didn't work out, oh well, right? Move on to the next thing. And instead of looking back maybe 5 years from now and being like, shoot, dude, I wonder what would have happened if I made that video game. What
Yeah.
if I had done this? And luckily we live in a day and age where those mistakes aren't, or I don't know if they're mistakes, but those attempts aren't detrimental to life in general. Like if you want to move somewhere or do something huge, back in the day, moving across the country, that was a life decision, right? Like you're not moving from New York to California and then going back. Like you're just going to California. So now it's, you can move there and live there for a year, and if you don't like it, go somewhere else. It's just kind of that perception really opened me up to having more of that absurdist view of just it being like, well, yeah, it doesn't matter, but I'd rather do it than not do it.
Yeah. Well, and so yeah, exactly. And I like with that, one of the stories that comes up all the time when you look up absurdism and you kind of start researching it is the story of Sisyphus. Do you know about that one?
I don't.
You'll probably be familiar once I start telling you. But have you ever seen that image of like a guy pushing a boulder up a hill, like endlessly?
No.
Okay. So it's a famous story about
let me look it up really quick.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you'd recognize it because it's pretty popular. But it's the story of Sisyphus, where it's basically he's cursed by God.
Okay, I think I've seen that image before. Yeah.
Yeah, to push this boulder up this hill for forever. And basically, as soon as he reaches the top, or like is about to reach the top, it rolls down the hill again, and he has to push it up again. And that's what he's cursed to do for all eternity, for defying God. Now, but the difference is with absurdism is he finds fulfillment and joy in that despite God. So he still wins against the God by the fact of saying, you're cursing me to basically push this up the hill all day, all long. But the joke's on you. That's all I want to do. So it's basically the absurdist thing of like, it doesn't basically like, because the God's trying to curse him with a meaningless, pointless life. But his point of view is, well, all life is meaningless and pointless. So I might as well push this rock up the hill and enjoy it.
Or have that paradigm shift of, this, I love pushing boulders up hills. Like,
yeah. Well, and it's like, yeah, it's just a different mindset of thinking about it. Of like, well, you can't curse me with something that everyone is already going through. Like everybody's life is completely pointless and meaningless. So rather than like thinking about that and stressing on that, I'm gonna focus on what I'm doing and just find whatever joy there is in that, even if it's just a thing of pushing a boulder up the hill. And so that's kind of the type of thing of how I'm trying to think a lot more. And I've been basically just doing that for like, I don't know, a week or two. Where I've been trying to change my mindset with that. Yeah. And overall, like, like I'm still working on it, but like overall, I find that I am happier. I'm enjoying life more, even when I do have like, because it allows me to wallow in my depression, which I like to do, but without being depressed. So it allows me to like.
Of what?
What do you mean?
Like one of the things that you've applied this principle to in the last week or two?
Yeah, so I guess a lot of things, but I guess just getting out, just living, I guess continuing to like live, continuing to like do things. Did
you do that with your bathroom situation?
Oh, so just to clarify, when we use my bathroom situation is we had
I guess that could be a lot of things.
Yeah. I was gonna say that changes subjects quite a bit. We had a leak in our bathroom, and it started going through. It was on the second floor, so it started going through to the first floor. But yeah, but that it's like the whole. It's like Tyler Durden, for example, like from Fight Club. Like everything is falling apart. We're all part of the same compost heap. It's that same kind of like thinking of just like, yeah, everything's like falling apart. Everything's rotting. Everything is leaking. Everything's broken. It's fine. It doesn't matter. Like just like fix the media. It helps me Like, because when I talked before about how I have that one track mind where I like to continue down a path until its ultimate goal, and I kind of obsess over it till I do that. It helps me not do that as much because it helps me accept what is and basically just laugh it off. Like, for example, like there being a leak in the bathroom that goes through the floor, and I got to cut out the drywall and replace it. Absurdism, thinking that way, helps me stop going down the spiral of being like, oh no, what if there's mold throughout the house? What if there's more leaks? What if the wall's all wet? What if this blah 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 blah
Mm,
blah? And like, what if I have to rip out the whole bathroom? What if this happens? It helps me stop going down that spiral and just accepting of like, no, there's a leak because that happens. The whole like whole house is temporary. Eventually, it's just gonna rot and just destroy. It doesn't matter. Like I'm not important. None of this matters. So just whatever. Like it's fine. There's a leak. We patch it. We're good. And then like I'll
mm.
deal with the next problem when it comes. It's basically accepting that there are all these problems and just like shrugging them off a little bit more and still
So
dealing with them.
it's more
Basically
of
being
like
like,
dealing with it and acceptance rather than like changing your mindset to it being an enjoyable experience.
yeah, it's basically accepting that. Well,
Because you weren't
because
excited to fix your roof, right, in your bathroom.
yeah,
Like,
yeah, I'm not excited to do it,
so you just
but
accepted it.
so it's a little bit more than that because I think it's you have a I think you're having a hard time understanding it because your brain doesn't function this way. Like
Mm.
my brain starts to spiral in those situations down into like the eternal. Like it doesn't stop at, oh, there's a leak in my bathroom. It goes, there's a leak in my bathroom. That means there's mold. That means I probably have cancer. That means that my body's
Right
body's
to cancer.
yeah,
Yeah.
like, but that means I have like lung cancer from this mold that's probably in the bathroom. That means my body's rotting from the inside out. That means I'm gonna die, and that means when I die, my wife's not gonna be able to
Mm.
like take care of herself. What if she's gonna die? That our dog's gonna get sick and die. What if nobody knows that our dogs that we both died, and our dog's gonna have to eat us, and then he's gonna be put down because they're gonna find that he ate human bodies, so they're gonna have to kill my poor innocent puppy. And then with all of that gone, then
Jeez.
there's, what if there is an afterlife and it turns out that we really were just slaves. We are just in this constant cycle. And now I'm just put into my soul, it's just put into this grinder, and they're going to throw me down into another body just to serve whatever kind of cycle that they're going through of me continually be a slave in this eternal hell. And like that, like all of that because there's a leak in my bathroom. Like,
Uh,
and it continues. Like, it just continues to go down,
yeah,
down, down,
mine
down, down.
doesn't do that. If I had a leak in my bathroom, I think I'd be like, oh man, that sucks. And then I'd be a little bit of excited to fix it because I'd be like, oh, I get to go to Home Depot. I get to get some drywall. I'll cut the ceiling open.
Yeah.
My wife might not be so excited for me to do that, but I look at it as an opportunity to like fix something or learn how to do something.
Yeah,
And
where for me, I have a leak in the bathroom, and then I have a panic attack, and I almost kill myself because I'm like, because
yeah,
my brain goes down this spiral of like the whole world is falling apart and dying, and everything is death and destruction, and we're all just decaying, rotting mold in the walls of eternal beings.
because
And it's just yeah,
I said earlier that I was having a hard time like picking up a new hobby or committing to doing something. But now that I think about it, when it comes to stuff like that, I love figuring out how things work and fixing things. So I don't think I'm completely a nihilist.
oh, you're not a nihilist at all.
Yeah.
I've known you for like 13 years. You're not a nihilist at all. No, not at all.
I have nihilistic
Like
tendencies, maybe.
you'll have a dark thought in here and there, but that doesn't make you a nihilist.
Okay.
If anything, I would say you're an optimist. So
Maybe.
compared to my brain, you're an optimist.
maybe my homework assignment will be to figure that out, take a look at the different options and see where I kind of
Yeah,
feel like I fit in.
yeah, figure out your different philosophies and like what will help you. And for me, it's a lot of it's outcome based. But like the problem is, it's not fully. If you are like fully centered on being outcome based, you can lie to yourself and like that's why I think a lot of like, for example, like really religious people, they are very religious and they have like this god that is like watching out for them and everything's like that, which I don't think is true. But I'm not gonna tell them that, and I'm not gonna be like, oh, you shouldn't believe in that and things like that, because if we're just looking for outcome of like having a happy family and being part of a community and going to church and like getting things done and like being happy and making money, like all of that is easier with like a church and a religion and a community behind you and all of that. It's all of that's really positive and good. I, however, because of the way my brain works, I can't accept that. If there's any
Mm,
like if there's any lie in it, I don't want any part of it. So for me, I have to find a philosophy that in my mind is just pure truth. And I'm willing to change that too. Like if I find out that I'm wrong about my nihilism or I'm wrong about the universe being pointless, if it really does mean something cool, I'll accept that. But I need evidence. I'm
mm.
evidence based. And so without the evidence, I don't believe you. I need evidence.
Yeah,
And so
I like having evidence like that as well, or just knowing, or at least it making sense in my head of how something is supposed to be. If I
yeah.
even if I don't have physical evidence, if in my own head logically it makes sense, I'm good.
Well, yeah, and that's
Until
the thing.
someone can prove me
There's
wrong
something.
otherwise.
Yeah, because there's some things like you can't give me physical evidence of, what the beginning of the universe and things like that. Like
Right.
there's some certain things where it's like, no, you're not gonna be able to get me physical scientific evidence of that. Even if you say you can, I don't really believe you. Like like you said, it has to make sense. It has to make sense with how the world works, basically, and how I imagine it works. But I'm willing to change that. But that was a core part of my philosophy, like when I was looking at them, of like, and so it really limited the philosophies I could have because a lot of the philosophies are basically starting with telling yourself a certain little lie, and then using that to propel your the rest of your life to be really productive or be happy in certain ways. Whereas I defined one that's like, no, cold hard truth. With the cold hard truth, what is there? And I think so far absurdism is helping me the most because it helps me stop spiraling. It helps me, like you said, accept what is and just be happy with it. And it also is a little bit freeing for me from like something I call like the void, which is like that voice that is negative, that's telling you like, don't do that, don't do this. Like, people are gonna laugh at you, people you're gonna fail, or you're gonna waste your time. It helps me shut down that voice because if nothing really matters, and I'm just gonna have fun. It's
Right.
kind of like the Joker, from Batman. It's like, well, if nothing matters, let's have fun. You know what I mean?
Burning the stack of money.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, I would say
Yeah.
Joker is an absurdist where he's just like, now he's an evil absurdist, but he's an absurdist where he's just like, no, like, and that's the thing with a lot of philosophies too. You have to disconnect right and wrong from, because that's not really what we're talking about. We're not talking about like a code of conduct of like whether I'm
Right.
doing what's like morals. You have to disconnect morals from. I'm not talking about moral conduct. I'm talking about just how you see the universe and how you apply that knowledge to yourself and how you're going to live your life for yourself. It's not nothing moral is what I'm discussing here. This is all just how you see the universe working.
Yeah, not chaotic evil or neutral,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah. I'm not thinking
Yeah.
moral. Yeah, like because that's the thing. Because I feel like there's philosophies, and then you can apply any philosophy. Like you can apply Stoicism, for example, for good. You can apply
Mm,
Stoicism for evil. You can
yeah,
apply absurdism for good or absurdism for evil. You
sure.
could apply any of these philosophies. Say with the hero's journey, like you mentioned with the narcissistic hero's journey, you could
Yeah.
follow the hero's journey and be a hero and be a good guy, or you can follow the hero's journey and be a narcissist and be evil. It's not so much about the morals of it. That's up to
Mm,
you to decide. It's about your understanding of the universe and your place in it, and how your mind is going to deal with the realities of it.
okay. Cool.
That's how I see it, at least.
Yeah, and if anybody is made it to this point and it's still listening, great. If you want to put in the comments, what would you call it?
Philosophy.
Perceived philosophy, perceived reality is, and how you deal with that, and what you define that as. That'd be good to read some of those. But yeah, sounds like we have some homework to do for this week, and we'll report back on that on the next episode. Um,
Before we sign
yeah,
out, actually, I was reading and there's a quote that I really like to actually underline. Do you mind if I read this quote for
yeah,
so
yeah.
I
Go
can
ahead.
find stuff? So it's a book called Transcendental Magic, and I was reading through it, and this is near just the beginning of the book. So I was reading through this again. I underlined this. I really liked it. I think it applies to some of the things we talked about today. So he says the last trophy which man could win from death is to triumph over the appetite for life, not by despair, but by a more exalted hope. I really like that.
Yeah, that's good. Okay, so next week, I think next week, if you don't mind, I'd like to talk about frequencies and maybe dip into crystals a bit and see where we go from there.
Well, maybe we'll call that the woo woo episode. We'll do the woo woo episode next.
Sounds good. All right, thanks everybody for watching, and have a good one.
See ya.